Well, Ulises, when we looked at the schedule earlier this year, I think many of us were fully expecting to see Joe Maddon on the other dugout, in an Angels uniform, Angels garb. Alas, that will not be the case.
Life hits you sometimes in the face like a Buick. So, yeah, that's probably what happened to Joe Maddon, and let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com, especially for advertising and sponsorship inquiries. So, of course, the Rays are in the middle of facing the Los Angeles Angels, and I assume because of that time frame and timeline that Tampa Bay Times Rays beat reporter Mark Topkin figured, hey, I'll give Joe Maddon a call and see what he's up to. And Joe Maddon is certainly, despite being fired by the Angels a couple months back, is certainly enjoying life as of right now. I think in the article he mentioned he's doing the 3 Gs. He's grilling, golfing, and gardening. So always good with the quotes. First off, Ulises, did you have a chance to read that article?
I just read clips of it, like little quotes here and there, but not the whole article.
Okay. Well, it's Joe Maddon, so there are some interesting quotes for sure. And he talked about his exodus from the Angels and how it didn't work out. And one of the big questions at 68 years old is he, and does he even want to get another MLB managerial opportunity? And we put it out on Twitter. Will Joe Maddon get another MLB managerial job? 59% of the voting populace say yes, he will. 1% say no. Ulises, where do you stand on this issue?
Well, because one of the quotes that I did read was his disdain on how baseball is being run basically by the GMs of the world and front offices, and not very much is given to the managers to actually manage, except for maybe the moods and maybe dress code of the players. He doesn't like that. And so the way that baseball is moving towards more of a front office driven baseball team, it seems to me that it would be more difficult for him to find a job that he actually would enjoy, because there's not a lot of front office meddling. I don't know what team that would be. That wouldn't be meddling with meddling. Maybe has a negative connotation.
Right.
But I don't know what team wouldn't be so involved as, the Rays, as the Yankees, as the Red Sox, as the Astros. I mean, and did I not just mention pretty competitive and successful teams? So yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Something tells me he'll get another opportunity, but it's got to be the right opportunity. Okay. I think there's just a few places where he could wind up, and hear me out. I could see him possibly going to the White Sox, because you do have an old school owner and you do have somewhat of an old school front office. And depending on how things shake out with Tony La Russa, he could get the kibosh or want to step down by his lonesome and insert Joe Maddon, who maybe can work with some of the unique personalities of that Chicago team, and also maybe stick it to the Cubs a little bit. He's got familiarity with Chicago. Maybe not as
Yeah.
much to the South side, but he's been in that city for several years, and maybe try to, if he can, win a title with Chicago. I think that's the only like Midwest place he would go.
That's not a bad, and I love the Chicago connection there. The owner, very well done. The fandom would hate this, by the way. They're like, we just have an 80-year-old and you're going younger by picking a 67-year-old.
Yeah.
What are you doing? So the fandom would hate this move 1,000%, but that would actually give it more of a likelihood of happening, because Jerry Reinsdorf clearly, as we have seen in the last 2 years, at least from an outside perspective, does not give a bleep what the fans think.
No, absolutely not. And here's the thing, too. I mean, Tony La Russa, I don't know his exact age, but let's assume 80. He in baseball terms, probably more like 100 years old. Whereas Joe Maddon, yes, he's 68, but he's got sort of more of a youthful vibe, if you will. So maybe he's more of a 58, 59-year-old. And they are, I get the feeling, two diverting personalities there. So that's one idea. I also thought about this. Perhaps, I don't know what's going on with the Phillies situation, but Sam Fold is the general manager. So maybe there's a fit there. And of course, Joe Maddon's home state of Pennsylvania being from Hazleton, I feel like that could be a situation that may work out. Also, same thing with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Maybe he replaces Derek Shelton, ironically, goes there. Outside of those jobs, the only other place that I could see him winding up is like a tropical environment, be it Miami, be it Arizona, be it somewhere in California. That's it.
Okay. I like the Pennsylvania one, the both Pittsburgh and Philly, because, you know, Hazleton, like, he would like to be
right.
You know, near there. That would be good for him. I don't know. I looked up the ages, by the way. Tony La Russa is 77. Joe Maddon is 68. So I thought the difference would be much larger than that. So
it feels much larger, though.
It feels much larger. I do think we do have a little bit of a Joe Maddon bias, and of course, why wouldn't we? But that youthfulness, I think it's that bias talking. I think Tim Anderson would be like, "What? Another
Possibly,
old guy?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Are we gonna? We're gonna dress in pajamas for the flight. Oh, we're bringing a salsa team in the clubhouse. Oh, we're bringing snakes in the clubhouse.
Right.
Yeah, I don't need that.
You might only be able to do that for a team that plays indoors and has a historically losing culture and has low payroll and plays a lot of rookies and not guys who are shooting national commercials for Dairy Queen and other brands. So that's possible as well. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonmlb. That is linkedin.com/lockedonmlb to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Continuing on this for another little bit here, and maybe this is some bias talking, or just we are a Rays baseball podcast, so might as well bring it up. Who do you think at the end of the day is the better manager, or was the better manager during their heyday? Joe Maddon or Kevin Cash?
I think we can answer that once Kevin Cash's years are done.
That's fair.
Because we don't know. We don't know right now. Could he win the World Series? Yeah, he could. And so then that would give him the edge. But right now, I think that it's an interesting question. It's a clickbaity question, and I love it. And I think we would get a lot of views with that title on our YouTube video. So we will have that talk.
Okay.
But I think that we should have it once Kevin Cash is done.
Let me see if I can frame it this way. Is what Joe Maddon did in his time with the Rays as impressive, more impressive, less impressive than what Kevin Cash has done in his time with the Rays?
Going from worst team to the World Series in back-to-back years is What's the most impressive thing that Kevin Cash has done? Win 2 games in the World Series. Joe Maddon only won 1. So it depends. It's a very nuanced question, but worst to first might have some big heavyweight championship there. And again, the World Series that Kevin Cash got there, everybody had the same rules, 60 games, but 60 games.
Yeah. I do give, and maybe, I mean, both were absolutely so and have been so meaningful to the franchise, but there's something about a guy who can take a franchise that never won anything, was the laughingstock of professional sports, and being able to change the culture to the point and turn a franchise into literally basically the worst into one of the most respected, and being able to embrace something that so many other managers and coaches never would embrace, i.e. the platoons, the shifts, and having that free spirit clubhouse vibe. Like, he was such a a
pioneer.
Everybody goes right, he goes left. He did things in a different way that, I mean, he sort of helped
Ben
facilitate
Zobrist
a new era of managers.
He helped Ben Zobrist's career by moving him around and becoming the best super utility baseball has ever seen in Ben Zobrist. Look, I'm so old, and you're not that far behind me, so you will know this too. People would make fun of dudes in high school wearing a Devil Rays jersey. Like, they would point and literally laugh. Like, that's how old I am. That he changed that. Now it's legitimately cool to wear a Devil Rays jersey, and it's not because of what Kevin Cash did. It's because of Joe Maddon, and that's not Kevin Cash's fault. He just came later, so don't take this, people, as a Kevin Cash haterade episode. It's just the one dude came before him, and did a very cool thing.
And just if you don't get a chance to read the article, I mean, or if you haven't read the article yet, I would highly advise you to check it out, because there's some really interesting quotes there from Maddon. Just one that I'll mention. He says, quote, "It's at the point where some GM should really just put on a uniform and go down to the dugout, or the main anal membrane. He should go down to the dugout, as far as the control in the decision making taken away from the manager, so to speak." So it is really interesting how the game has changed, for sure. Changing gears a little bit. So Ulises, you and I both went to a Rays game this past weekend. I went to the game on Friday, and you went to the game on Saturday. Unfortunately, I was
before you move on. He did say that to put on a uniform. That's just so funny, because the process and analytics coach, Jonathan Ehrlichman, does wear a Rays cap, and he's in a uniform, and he's in the dugout every single game. So I don't know if that was a hidden shot at the Rays, but if it wasn't, well, that's the type of franchise that the Rays are. They literally do have their analytics guy in the dugout.
Or possibly it's a shot at the Angels for not putting a guy like that in the dugout, so there's not miscommunication, and there's not that that issue of you just have these analytical front office guys that are sending directives to the manager but not giving any explanation for why they're being done. So the players can actually go and ask, what's his name again?
Jonathan Ehrlichman. They can go to him directly and ask, instead of it being secondhand of, well, that's what the front office says. I don't really know. I just get the numbers, I get the printout, and that's it. But he can actually in detail and have a conversation and develop a relationship with these players. And I think that's something that is absolutely lacking, is you have these quote unquote baseball nerds, these guys that have all the numbers, but and they might know what's best for trying to win a baseball game, but the players don't really understand it. So you need somebody from that membrane that can go down and actually be on the field and answer questions and throw out ideas to these players. So I think that's something that's big as well. But as I was mentioning, so you went to the game on Saturday. I went to the game on Friday. I was part of a loss. Unfortunately, you were part of a win. After the game,
I guess it might have been a day later. Did you get an email in your inbox from the Rays for a fan survey?
Yes, I did.
Did you complete that survey?
I've done it before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a question in this survey, and I did complete it. It took me, they say it takes about 10, 11 minutes, and that's about what it does. You want to put some thought to it and really make sure your voice gets heard. But
yeah,
there's one question, open-ended question, that let's have a little fun and answer it, because I think it is important.
Okay.
And this question, I believe, I want to say that it makes sense that it's the very last question that's part of this survey. So they want to make sure that you get to the very end before you submit your comment on this. But here it is. Please complete the statement. The one thing that would most improve my fan experience at Tropicana Field is ... What would that be for you?
It's so open-ended, though.
Yeah.
My one thing that could not have to sit in traffic for an hour. But can you do something about that? I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, really, but not really.
Okay, let's make it more specific of improve the fan experience at Tropicana Field. So when you're actually in the parking lot, you're in the confines of the Trop, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. What would make me have a better time at the Trop? Oof.
That would most improve your fan experience.
Cup holders on the seats.
Okay, that's good.
What are we? Why are we pretending we're in 1923?
Yeah.
Stop. Give me cup holders.
That's
have
really
drinks.
good.
We're come on. It's only for the fancy people, in the cushy seats. Us peasants also have drinks too.
Right.
And we're probably buying more drinks than the cushy people. Give us cup holders, Stu.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No, that's actually a really, really good suggestion. Cup holders all around for everybody.
Galore.
Because there's been many a time where you put the drink down and somebody walks through the aisle and knocks it over, or you forget about it and accidentally. I got size 14 shoes, so that's a problem for me.
Yeah, no, and there's also this whole germaphobe thing. Like, you're gonna put it right next to somebody's soul, or somebody's putting their foot on top of your drink, and like something can fall into your disgusting. Enough. No, cup holders.
That's really good. That's really good. I went a little bit different in the sense that I came down to money. Free parking or heavily discounted parking is what I want. Because on Friday, alas, I got to the game about 5 to 10 minutes after first pitch, and they still got me for the $20. $20 is just insane.
It's concrete. It's already there. Why is it $20?
Yeah.
I remember
they're making their money.
I'm also old enough to remember when Stu was nice, and he said, if your car has 4 people or more, free parking. I remember those days.
Yes.
Pepperidge Farms remember those days. Mm-hmm. Stu, remember those days, man. Come on.
I know. I think
$20.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's really, really ridiculous.
Okay. Okay. Let's say it can't be free. How much money is okay to say, all right, I'll pay this because I need to pay
10.
Something for parking?
I think 10 is much more reasonable. Okay. And I think they should do the carpool thing. If they're trying to be quote unquote environmentally conscious and try to get less cars in the parking lot, if they want to kind of die on that hill, do the carpool thing. Or if you have 2 kids in the car, then parking's discounted because it shows that you're bringing a family or bringing children who can be potential lifelong baseball fans into the ballpark.
I would go a step further. Okay. If you have a kid in your car, in your vehicle, you're free. Okay. You have a kid, bro. Thank you for bringing your kid to this experience. We know you have your hands full. Go.
Right. Yeah.
go, because I'm okay with paying for parking more than a family. Like, they're already paying for more tickets, or paying for, health insurance, dental insurance, like,
Right.
all the things that you need to do when you have a human being in your care. Don't let them pay for parking. Come on, Stu, be better than that.
Yeah. Although they are doing the kids eat free thing, which again is nice.
Great.
But the parking
Great.
really jams you up. By the way, when I answered this question, I didn't list just one thing. I listed several things. I couldn't list just one. It was kind of tongue in cheek, but I did mention this would most improve my fan experience at Tropicana Field is ... moving the Trop to Hillsborough or Pasco County. That was my answer. And then the expense part of things, parking. It's not just parking, it's concessions. I mean, I get it. You get chicken tenders and fries, it's going to be $14. You get, if it's not $5 Bud and Bud Light, you're paying $10, $11, $12, $13 for a beverage. But, I just think that, if you can make things a little bit cheaper, that would be nice and ideal for
I don't
sure.
understand the upcharge, though, like, so much. Like, you could go to McDonald's and get, I don't know, an $8 meal. I don't know. I haven't gone to McDonald's in forever, so I wouldn't know. But I'm thinking like an $8 meal, $9 meal, like $14.9. Like, what do these chicken tenders have besides the buffalo sauce, which is pretty great?
Yeah.
But $14.99? Come on, man.
Yeah, they're
like,
they're not 14 karat gold chicken tenders over here by any means.
Let's just be conscientious on, where we're living in 2022 and in the economy and what Tampa is experiencing as an inflation self-state. I don't know how to say that.
And you talked about cup holders for the peasants and the normal folk, which we are, but one of my buddies I was sitting with, he is, I'll just say he's a very important person with the Tampa YMCA organization. And he, a couple weeks ago, had the experience of a Tropicana Field suite, something I have yet to do. And I asked him, how is the suite? He's like, it's great. It's awesome. And he, being the corporation, the company he works for, it was all free. I was like, that is an experience I need. That is an experience I want. So if you're a rich listener out there or a well-connected listener out there and you want to give us tickets or the option to visit your suite, we will very much indulge, because Ulises, I mean, I'm just making the assumption you have not been in one of the Tropicana Field suites, or you have not.
Only once.
Okay, once.
Only once, and it was for my birthday. It was my, I believe it was my 20th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my 20th birthday because it was 2011. So Super Sam Fold season, Matt Joyce All-Star season. We won that game. Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, it was pretty great in 2011. That suite.
Yeah.
Like, there was just food everywhere, like TVs, like it was the whole shebang. So I couldn't even picture what it is in 2022. It must be really cool.
Yeah. So I
would like to experience that again. Yeah. So I'm jumping on your task. Anybody has a suite, invite us. We're kind of fun. We're fun people.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
LockedOnRays@gmail.com if you want to throw that offer out to us. Thank you for listening to the Locked On Rays podcast and making it your first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB Prospects podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.